I think most people know what they want. Having the dream isn't the problem. The real challenge is the things that come between where we are and where we want to be, roadblocks. And a lot of times those roadblocks are self-imposed. They're things like fear of failure, fear of success, procrastination. But in the middle school, high school years, we also have plenty of opportunity to bump into interference and roadblocks from the outside. And if you're not going to allow the clouds created by others to come between you and your vision of your dream, then you've got to have guts. The us and them game, it's been played for centuries in schools. It gets played with different groups of people, you know, those cliques, the jocks, the nerds, the burnouts. Then every couple of years you get some new cliques, the goths, the trenchcoat mafia. And sometimes you play that us and them game with those groups, but sometimes you play that game one-on-one. 2-on-1, sometimes 3, 4, 5-on-1. Play with people like Andy Bernarski. Andy Bernarski and I, we went to junior high school, middle school together. We went to high school together. When Andy and I were in junior high school, we didn't hang out with the same group because Andy got a label stuck on him early in the junior high school years, and the label said, the fat kid. Because Andy's bone structure is a little bit different, his metabolism was a little bit different. So what did people do? Oh, they made him feel as good about himself as humanly possible. The bell would ring, people walk out in the hallway and follow Andy down the hall. Land whale. Go through the cafeteria line at lunch. Interesting things they put on our tray. Started off pretty good. Pizza, chocolate pudding, chocolate milk. It made sense. Then the federal government stepped in. They mandate that it be a well-balanced meal. They start to add weird stuff to the tray. Green beans. And it had to have 2 vegetables, ketchup. I'd go back to my table, I'd eat my pizza, my chocolate milk, and my chocolate pudding. I'd be left with green beans and ketchup. What should I do with this? Throw it! No. Down the end of the table, Andy Bernarski, the fat kid. Hey, Andy, think you make room for this? And Brian also passed his tray. And Larry Pijanowski and Rob Standen passed their trays. Greg Cole passed his tray, and I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't, because I did. And you never get an opportunity to take a moment like that back. I pass my tray, and we stack them up in front of Andy Bernarski, the fat kid. Ha, ha, ha. You know what was really interesting? Was what happened between middle school and high school. Andy Bernarski started to change. Everybody does. I think Andy changed his diet because he started to slim down. And I know Andy started to work out with weights, and he started to bulk up. And Andy started to turn into a big guy, really big guy, huge guy. And what was interesting to me was, in spite of the fact that he now exhibited all the external characteristics of my football playing friends, we still could not accept him. Andy Bernarski, the fat kid, became Andy Bernarski, the musclehead. Peel one label off, stick another on, and it was just like junior high school all over again. People walked down the hall. Andy walked down the hall. People walked behind him. See that Bernarski kid won that weightlifting competition last week in Pottstown? Yeah, but come on, he's so stupid I bet he can't even spell his name. Because he's Andy Bernarski, the musclehead. Teachers did it. Saw 2 teachers standing in the doorway one day. Andy walked down the hall, and one teacher said to the other, see that Bernarski kid won that bodybuilding competition last week in Pottstown? And the other teacher said, yeah, but come on. Weightlifting, bodybuilding, he'll never amount to anything. Why do we spend so much of our time judging other people? Why do we spend so much of our time paying attention to other people's lives when 9 times out of 10, we don't even have our own lives figured out? So the story has an interesting ending. Here comes these motivational speaker guys. They always come to school and they tell these horrible stories, and in the end, somebody dies. Does he get really depressed to go home and kill himself? No. Does he come to school one day and kill everybody else? No. Here's how this story ends. It's kind of interesting. So the summer I get out of college, I go to movies. I go to see this movie called Batman Returns. Have you seen it? Back channels of cable TV. In this movie, Michael Keaton plays Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer plays the Catwoman, and Christopher Walken plays the mayor of Gotham City, like Donald Trump. Max Schreck is the character's name. He has a son, Chip, and early in the movie, Chip comes on the screen, and I'm watching this movie, and this guy comes on the screen, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking to myself, that guy looks really familiar. I said to my friend Tim, that looks just like Andy Bernarski. Tim said, Andy Bernarski, the musclehead from high school? Oh, yeah, right. I said, no, look a little closer. His hair's a little bit shorter. He used to wear contacts. But I think that looks just like Andy Bernarski to me. And Tim said, oh, maybe when the movie's over, we should wait around and read the credits to see if it's him. I said, okay. And we did. And you can read them too, because they say Batman, Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer plays the Catwoman, Donald Trump, mayor of Gotham City type of person, played by Christopher Walken. His son Chip, played by Andrew J. Bernarski. You see, Andy had a dream. And his dream was that he wanted to go to Hollywood. He wanted to become a Hollywood actor. That was Andy's third film. He was in a movie called The Program. He was in a movie called Necessary Roughness. You might know Andy Bernarski. Anybody of you see a movie called Pearl Harbor? All right, you know Cuba Gooding Jr.? Sure you do. Early in that movie, Cuba Gooding Jr. is boxing. He's boxing against a big guy, really big guy, huge guy. It's Andy Bernarski. I was speaking at a school in Chicago. This guy came up to me and said, I heard you tell that Andy Bernarski story one time before. He's in another movie. I said, really? He said, yeah. Have you seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I said, no. He said, Leatherface. Man, you were an idiot in high school. That guy could kill you. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Because motivational speakers, we always have like the big finish at the end of our story. So I'm thinking, I'll go out to California, or I'll call Andy, and we'll go out on tour together, and we'll do like these motivational programs, and I'll do the like, you have to have a dream type of thing, and I'll say, and Andy Bernarski had a dream. He wanted to become a Hollywood actor. And Andy will be backstage with the chainsaw. He'll crash through the curtain, run out into the audience, and go, ah! Be great, wouldn't it? You know what? It'll never happen. You know why? Because Andy Bernarski is one of the biggest dreamers I never bothered to meet in high school. He's a dreamer because despite all the pressure around him to just fit in, all the people cutting him down to build themselves up, Andy developed three things, three very essential things in life. Vision, the ability to see what you want, where you want to go. Courage, the guts to go after it. And persistence, the willingness to keep going when everything around you says it's not going to happen.